client asked us to be appointed as the manager of an underlying LLC, which is not an uncommon structure to have, but in this instance we clearly saw that the client was concerned about relinquishing control of the trust assets. It was important to have the approach where we, as Southpac, engage the client effectively to ensure that he understands how the structure works, and also providing him with guidance on how to proceed in the future with adding assets and removing assets from the LLC.
We must ensure that the member, the trust, and the manager, often the client, knows exactly where the line between member and manager lies. The reason there are checks and balances in that particular area is because you don't ever want a creditor to find out that you've been distributing assets to yourself without the consent of the member. So it becomes really important that even though you may have the signing abilities to transfer cash from the LLC, that you're always making sure that you're acting in your role as manager and not as member.
So as soon as we received the request and we realized that the client was unsure about relinquishing control of these assets, we immediately became proactive and engaged with the client over a Zoom meeting. Not only to have that personal connection with him that he can see me on the other side, but also to provide him with guidance on the structure, how it works, the functionality, the protective elements of the trust, of the LLC.
What lots of people don't understand is the trustee is actually playing two roles. They're playing the role as trustee of the overall structure, and then they're also playing the role as member of the company, so the owner of the company. What Southpac can do is just make sure that all those dots are connecting, so that if a creditor ever happened to come across the documents, that every single one of those dots is lining up.
The result led to both us and the client understanding each other better, understanding the structure better. The client is more in tune with how the structure would lead to the goal being achieved that we discussed at our first meeting. Overall, it was a growing experience, not for Southpac alone and our staff, but also for the client. Even though the discussions could become difficult, it achieved the goal of making sure the client understands how the LLC works, how these powers work, and understands our role, ensuring that the structure provides the asset protection element it should.
So when a beneficiary of the trust would like to receive any assets from the LLC, only the LLC's member, the trust, can profit from a capital distribution. So the way that we need to record this is a capital distribution to the trust, followed by a beneficiary distribution from the trustee, and that's why the powers lie solely with the trustee at that point. So even though you do have signatory authority often of the LLC, bank accounts and those sorts of things, the member's the only one that's able to distribute to its beneficiary. So it is important that you do get in touch with us. We do have solutions for this particular client where we can pre-approve distributions and really customise what the solution would be for you.